broke your rule. But you know what? I broke the rule because I'm distracted. What's going on? Do you need a loan? Are you out of money? How come your socks don't match? What is going on?
Just to gain your attention. Senhoras e senhores, hoje é dia 13 de junho e cá estou indo fazer uma entrevista exclusiva com Chael Sonnen. Quem conhece sabe que o homem é inteligente, de raciocínio rápido e tem um personagem que ele incorpora muitas vezes que é intimidador. E por isso é um desafio que eu queria enfrentar na minha carreira, entrevistar esse cara. E para essa ocasião especial eu vesti essa camisa de manga comprida da Insider. E sabe por quê? Porque eu tenho certeza que eu vou suar e Chael Sonnen não vai perceber, porque essa é uma camisa anti-odor. E como aqui em São Paulo tá esse clima europeu de ensolarado, esse friozinho leve, é um tecido também leve, cai muito bem no corpo e funciona muito bem para esse compromisso especial que eu tenho hoje. Sem contar que essa camisa também dá uma marcada no shape, porque isso aqui também não é bagunça, eu também vou intimidar o cara. Então, se você quiser garantir essas camisas modernas, leves e ultra duráveis da Insider, é só usar o QR Code que tá na tela e aproveitar o cupom de 12% de desconto encarada 12 em qualquer produto do site da Insider. E assim você se veste bem e a cada compra é um incentivo que você dá para a Insider continuar apoiando os conteúdos especiais do canal Encarada. Combinado? Conto com vocês e vambora que chegou a hora de Chael Sonnen no canal Encarada. Galera do mundo das lutas, hoje a gente vai trocar uma ideia com Chael Sonnen. Não tinha como a gente não aproveitar essa oportunidade, o homem está no Brasil. So Chael, thanks a lot for the time, I really appreciate it.
I'm happy to be here.
I know you have a really busy schedule, so I'm happy to talk with you. First of all the week we are talking about fighting, the fight against Anderson, but just like me, you are also a content creator.
Sure.
Right? On daily basis you post videos on YouTube, so I would like to ask, how about this experience for you? You have your channel since 2015, and I know it is a hard work.
Sure.
Even if you have a team, editing team and all that, on daily basis, every time you have to post something. How is that for you?
You know, I am very used to it. I think that to be successful at that, as you know, you got to be consistent. The audience doesn't. I'm a father, and parents know that you don't ever get to have a day off. Like if you don't feel good, that doesn't work with the kid. The kid still wants you to play, still wants you up, still needs his meals packed, just for example. And I only share that because whatever my problems are, my stressors or time zones, it's not the audience's problem. They're doing their own thing. They come to me for entertainment, and I make sure I'm there each day.
Can you tell us how is the process? Because I can imagine you have a lot of sources, you have a lot of understanding about the game, about fighting. Do you study before you record something, or it's just freestyle?
Well, no, I'm a fan. So, I mean, I'm on those sites where I'm talking to those people every day. Those are my friends, you know, the fellow fighters, or I go in the gym myself, and some conversations start. So it doesn't feel like work, like it doesn't feel like research, like say when I was in school and had to get ready for a paper. But there is research. I mean, that is doing your due diligence and checking those stories. And it doesn't feel like a laboring type job. But yeah, you gotta know what's going on, and it changes very fast in our sport.
Fighters these days, a lot of fighters have YouTube channels. Do you recommend it?
I think that it can be helpful. I don't know if I would recommend YouTube specifically. I do recommend that they embrace social media. I think Twitter is number one, and I know a lot of guys enjoy Instagram even more, but I think for our sport, you know, Twitter was the original, and that's the one that Dana White himself embraces the most. And social media is very important. Do they have to do YouTube specifically? No. But social media, yes.
We know that you inspire a lot of fighters to speak for themselves with the mic on hands. But who inspired you to be this way to on the microphone?
Well, I liked, I studied a lot of political debates, presidential debates or a debate for senator. I enjoyed those types of things. And that was a fight. It was a battle for opinions. It was a battle for hearts and minds and votes. And it was a fight, for sure, but there was no punches thrown. Nobody was going to touch each other. You had to beat them psychologically. You had to beat them verbally. You had to be quicker. You had to be smarter. You had to be a better performer. But I just enjoyed that stuff. I appreciated that. I hear people talk about my influences, and they'll always say professional wrestling. And I go along with it, but it's really not true. I watched a little pro wrestling, and the very late 80s, and then of course I caught the Stone Cold era, but that's not what inspired me. I got inspired by the man on the 6 o'clock news.
I gotta believe that the first time you came to Brazil to, I believe, to record the Ultimate Fighter,
Yeah.
it was a different experience based on expectation. There was a lot of rivalry, a lot of bad blood with Brazilian fighters, but right now it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
What do you remember from that time? Were you not afraid, but aware, you know, concerned?
Yes, I didn't fully understand it. In America, the sport is big with a certain niche. It's a very small sport. Comparatively. In Brazil, it's huge. So like if I want to be famous in America or I want my words to be known and recognized, I have to go to a fight. I can't just go walk down the street or go to a local Starbucks, for example. But in Brazil, everybody knew. As soon as I got off the airplane, the captain of the plane came out. The security, the TSA, or that checked your passport. Like, you know, we were doing pictures and saying hello and doing autographs, and it was just a very different experience. And that's where I started to realize how passionate the Brazilian fans were. And it was nice. I mean, it was a very pleasant experience. That I was misunderstood. Some people say I was hated, but it was more that I was misunderstood. And so, yeah, man, we had a lot of protection and armored vehicles and the whole bit. But I met a guy when I was here, Rick Monster. He's here now. He was part of the experience. He was on Vanderlei's team, and we've just always stayed in touch. And now he's coaching me for this fight.
During that time, did you have a process like to promote the fight? I mean, Conor McGregor, as an example, he studied his opponents and knows things about the past of the fighter.
Sure.
Did you just told something that comes to mind when it comes to the rivalry with Anderson Silva, or did you study to know what to tell?
I meant all that stuff back then. Like, I thought I was the hero and he was the villain. I thought that he was bad for the sport. I thought he was a bad person. I thought he had begrudged me and my family. And I really felt like I needed to get redemption. And when I look back, though, I haven't the foggiest idea what he did to me. He never said anything to me. He gave me an opportunity, and then he gave me another opportunity. Like, as I look back, I can't remember what I was so mad about. But I was genuinely mad. I was genuinely upset back then. I woke up every day with a chip on my shoulder. But as I got older, I don't know what it came from. I don't think he ever did anything. I think I manufactured it on accident.
Yeah. Do you feel like any part of you feel like happy, maybe grateful to see that other fighters are following your behavior, the way you promote themselves?
Oh yeah, no, but definitely. I mean, you always try to leave a mark on something, and I wanted to leave it as champion. I want to leave it as the greatest. But if you can leave a mark in any direction, you know, I think we're living in the entertainment era right now. I think I started the entertainment era. And yes, if somebody was to tell the story and they were to leave me out of it, I feel that they'd be telling the story wrong.
You are still around, you know, in fighting, doing analyzing fights and all that commentary things. When it's all said and done, how would you like to be remembered? How would you like to Chael Sonnen be remembered?
Oh boy, I would. I lived by a code. And it wasn't the same as everybody else's, but I fiercely adhered to my code. I was known for talking trash, but I've never used profanity ever. I've never had to curse to get my message out. And whatever I said about a guy, I would show up. I would illness or injury, any weight class, any set of rules. You could put in a ring or you could put in a parking lot. I would show up and I would answer for it, right or wrong. But I had a code and I lived by it.
If I may, can I ask the prediction of your son for your fight?
Yeah. Hey, champ. He has got a question for you. Come here.
What's your prediction for the fight of your father?
It's hard. I don't know.
Can I beat Anderson Silva?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think he's faster than me. I really.
You mentioned that last night. You said he is faster than me, which was a big surprise. Watch this. Are you ready? Ready? Do you think he can move that fast?
Probably.
All right, so he's faster than me, but what else? Look at how big. Look at the steroids. Hey, look how big I am.
What was the question?
Can I beat Anderson Silva?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Will he though?
How do I beat him?
Use your power. Oh, cheat.
Wise. And by the way, he had asked a question, but just to answer it, does George Masvidal suck?
I could beat him with a flip-flop.
I believe it. Chael Sonnen, ladies and gentlemen.
I was at the open workout, and I was the one that asked your son to predict the fight.
Yes.
And you know what? I asked that because I was watching him, and he was like ready to go.
Sure.
You know? So he needs to be part of it.
For sure.
You know, do you teach things for him? Would you like him to follow your paths?
Well, I will be his chauffeur. Whatever it is he wants to do, whatever hobby that is or activity, I will drive him to practice. But then I'm out. Somebody else I will trust. Somebody else will coach him. I will just be his father. But yeah, if he wants to learn this, I will show him what I know if he comes to me and asks me. If he doesn't ask me, I'm not going to make him learn. But he's a good athlete. I think that he's going to pursue something.
I know you answered a lot of questions about Anderson during this week, but I would like to know if when you look at Anderson right now as a friend, as an opponent, as an always rival, what quality Anderson have that you would like to have?
Well, there's a few things I've learned about Anderson. First off is how tough he is. Like, as a competitor, people recognize him for his skills. He was so dynamic. You know, he could submit you on the ground, but he could knock you out on his feet with hands or elbows or knees. I mean, he was just really dynamic. But he's very tough. You know, Michael Bisping, other guys that have gone 5 rounds with him will tell you, I didn't know that. I didn't know how tough he was going to be. I didn't know what he was willing to push through. And the other thing I learned about him is how much he really loves the sport. A lot of the greats don't. A lot of the greats get in there and they love the spotlight. They weren't fighters. They were just really good athletes. And there's a place in this. You can make a lot of money being a really good athlete. But the real fighters get up and they keep going forward. The real fighters stay in there. Whatever the rule set, whatever the age, doesn't matter how bright the lights are. And that's something I learned about him. When he got into boxing and he took the Jake Paul challenge, or he went to Mexico to take on Chavez, which was nothing less than a setup, and he still overcame it and won. I have no idea how he got his hand raised in Mexico against a Chavez, but what I'm sharing is he truly does love the sport. He's not one of the guys that just says that because the money's good. He loves it. He loves being part of this. He lives the lifestyle. I think it's very admirable, but it was not something I knew about him early on.
Chael, if there was no Anderson Silva, what would be like Chael Sonnen? Do you think you would find another partner?
Well, it's hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine without Anderson, because he wasn't just a big part of my story. He was the only part of my story. Everything else I did led me to him, or anything I did after him. Some of those opportunities were because of residue and memories of being with him. So it'd be very disappointing without him. I'll answer your question like this. When Dana White announced that fight, he called me Chael Sonnen. He did not know my name. He went on ESPN, he said, Anderson Silva's fighting Chael Sonnen. And now he does know my name. And I'm not sure if it hadn't been for Anderson that Dana would have ever learned how to pronounce my name. So, but I think that tells you a lot about how important Anderson was for me.
We have 2 names out of Brazil that are really popular right now. Beginning with Pereira. How do you explain
a
guy like Alex Pereira so popular around the world without saying one single word in English?
You have to understand, I know I'm breaking the rule here because I'm doing English, but if Pereira was to go up to heavyweight and win, which, by the way, he very definitely could win, he would be champ, which is never done before. You would have a non-black belt who's never had a competitive wrestling match and only 10 MMA fights, the GOAT, ever. Yeah. There would be no argument. He would be the greatest of all time with only 10 fights. It is hard to explain the level of success that that guy's had. I broke your rule, but you know what? I broke the rule because I'm distracted. What's going on? Do you need a loan? Are you out of money? How come your socks don't match? What is going on?
Just to gain your attention.
Do you need a few bucks?
In Brazil?
A couple. Yes, I can get you some money.
We call pigs in Brazil.
You need some pigs?
Yes.
I'll get you some piggies.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get you some matching socks.
But do you like his chances?
Alex Pereira's amazing. He's amazing, buddy. Pereira, that's who Pereira wants to fight. Pereira will not do an interview without mentioning Anthony Smith. He challenged him to a grappling match. He challenged him to a fight. He challenged him to a boxing match. Like, I don't know what Anthony ever did, and neither is Anthony. Like, Anthony's like, hey, man, I'm happy to have the beef. I'm happy the champions call me out. I just don't know why he is, and I don't either. I don't know what Anthony ever did to Alex Pereira, but Pereira wants to fight him. I hope he gets his way. That's the match I want to see.
And about Oliveira, what do you think Oliveira has to do to
Awesome.
to become a champion?
He is awesome. I didn't know how good he was. I sat cage side for his last fight. I was right there. I could reach out and touch the cage. And he lost that fight, but I could still see it. I could see the skill. I could see the threat. I could see the heart. I mean, he's losing that fight clearly, and he almost chokes the guy out at the end. The round ends with Oliveira in a front choke. Total stud. And I know that one hurt him. If he would have won there, he would have been offered a title shot, whether he took it or not, but he would have been offered it. And I know that hurt him. And I saw him where the cameras weren't, and he was a gentleman. He was a very good sport. Now, when he got in the back and he was alone, maybe that changes. But in front of the audience, when kids and people are watching, he handled himself like a man.
Chael, thanks a lot for the time. Really appreciate it. I'm in this industry for 10 plus years.
Are you really,
just interviews.
Are you really out of money?
Yes.
You're really out of piggies? Do you need some piggies?
Yes.
Some piglets?
Do you have?
What happened with the socks? You just lost the socks? Or are you colorblind and you didn't know? Is there a story?
How can I gain his attention? You know, I knew you will notice.
Do you have holes in these socks? Can I see the sock? I mean, it's a good sock. It smells fine. It's a good sock.
Yeah.
It's just
if
the wrong color.
Give me a pics, I can.
I'll give you
better.
some pics.
I can get better.
I'll give you piggy.
So I just want to thank you, Chael, for the opportunity. I hope you have a great time in Brazil. People.
Are you going to edit
Believe
that?
me.
Like, are you embarrassed that I brought the sock thing? Because I didn't say it to embarrass you. I said it out of concern. I've known you a long time.
I was ready.
I
for
wanted you to
this.
have socks. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, yeah.
Good. So I just want to say thank you and a final message.
I think you look very nice. I think you're pulling it off. Do you have matching shoes? Do the shoes match?
I just randomly.
Oh, you have random shoes as well. Oh, you're running a gimmick.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
You don't really need piggies then.
I don't need to pick.
No. No?
So that's it.
Piglets? Piggies?
Pickies.
Pigs?
Pigs. Yes,
Oh, pigs.
Pigs.
All right.
It's like a transfer money.
Finish telling them how happy you were that I was here. He's
Yeah.
Chael Sonnen, I'm really
so
glad he was
happy.
here, blah, blah, blah.
You're not used to it.
Global channel, Saturday
You're
night.
not used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
No, just
But
wrap it
it's
up.
true, man. It is true. I'm happy. Okay, so I did not like this interview. I hope he...
Hope it brings him some pickies is what he's hoping.
Yes. Chael Sonnen, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. Thank you, Chael.
Well, Sweaty, thank you, buddy, for the time.